Hey,
Buddy.
hey, well,
Fantastic.
my new friend Peter is on here.
Nice. Fantastic.
Have you
Fantastic.
met Peter?
Yes.
Peter is
I
just a
haven't I
freaking
haven't met Peter
legend.
personally, but amazing to see you, Peter. Johan told me great things about his conversation with you yesterday. So great to see you with us on our
Yeah.
first. This is your first exposure to our training, but we've been doing this weekly, so there's plenty of gold to catch up on for you. Johan, I'm just going to get the YouTube live streaming thing going
Yeah,
on. If
you,
you want to
you,
just
you
say
did
hi
right,
to
man.
everybody and
Peter, man, jump off mute with me. You were one of my most interesting conversations yesterday. I got to say, meeting you, I was smiling. I was telling Walt, I'm like, dude, you got to meet this Peter guy. He is absolutely incredible. So, Pete, can you hear me? Nope, you're muted, buddy. You're muted, buddy. I can't hear you.
Okay. Hey, Johan, how are you?
Hey, there you are. How you doing, man? Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was really cool catching up with you yesterday.
We had a great conversation about all the history, confectionery stores, and all the business dealings you've had, and then the financial stuff that you've been involved with. And then yesterday you signed up to be a Comet client, so congratulations, welcome on board.
Thank you.
Where's your brain at right now? So everybody on here has been clients for a long, long time. Tell me about where your brain is right now after
Uh,
after yesterday.
I spent most of my time yesterday going through the various training things, videos, etc. Um,
Yep.
I'm how am I feeling? I'm feeling excited. Um, I said to my partner and I went out to dinner last night, and I said to her, I said, I think I've got the final piece of the puzzle of because I've been down the rabbit hole of learning AI and figuring out how to offer that as a service. But and I've got a couple of things I can offer there, but um, I didn't really have a foot in the door offer that I was happy with.
Yep.
And leads, by their very nature, are the perfect foot in the door. Um, if
No one's
if
going to turn you down for leads.
if a businessman's got a pulse or a businesswoman's got a pulse, she should be interested in more leads. Um, and if they're not, I'm probably okay that I don't deal with them.
Awesome,
um,
man. Well, Walt's got a. So we've been doing this training every day, every week for the last how many weeks now? I think we had 6 weeks.
about 8 weeks, I
Can you
think.
believe 8 weeks? Wow, I can't believe how quickly the time is flying. This is absolutely incredible. By the way, there is a gentleman on here who I completely have beard envy for. That is the baddest beard I've ever seen. That looks so cool. I wish I could
yeah,
grow it. This is my 1 month. Man,
ZZ
that
Top,
is
mate. I think it looks
epic, bro.
spectacular.
That is epic. How long has that taken you? You're muted. I can't hear you, bro.
I believe it's been about 6 or 7 years now.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Wow. That
Pretty
I
cool.
went
you
to
you
a
look like a
barber.
Viking, bro.
Well,
Mate,
it's a
that's
fun run,
Gandalf
I
level.
suppose. I just need the white hat.
You must be a
Oh,
wizard with
so
a beard
cool.
like that, mate.
I'm hoping to be after this training session.
Nice. Nice. That's very cool.
So Walt and I are very, very competitive in terms of our
No, we're not.
deal making. And 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 he kicks my ass every single time because he has a special power. I'm doing one-on-one a lot of the time, and he's doing one-to-many all the time. And this is a special power that he has nailed. At the end, he gave me a preview of this presentation. By the way, guys, Walt works tirelessly. He just to continually add value. This presentation that he's done is to show you how to do one-to-many sales. And he's got it all set up. He's got the formulas. He's broken down some of the best people in the entire world, and he's going to walk you through the exact frameworks that they use. The third guy in his framework, I absolutely love that guy. So I can't wait for you guys to see that guy's
You're
framework.
funny. I'm just looking at,
Uh,
I'm trying to get the live stream going through YouTube so we can stream this out to school, but not having any success. So we'll just post it in there afterwards, and
sure.
post the recording in. So, thank you for that, mate. That's
Good to see you, Alan.
that was very cool. So what Johan just said was, he's the deal maker, right? Johan is in our company. Johan's the guy that goes out. He's talking to people. He's creating JV partnerships. He's bringing in sales all the time. Like, he's the guy that constantly, his calendar's fully booked, and nobody works harder on sales in our company than Johan. And yet, in the last 4 weeks, Johan, I'll have to say, I have probably quadrupled the amount of people that I've spoken to than you have. And yet I've done that in 4 hours.
100%.
And you've done that in 40 hours a week, or 100 hours a week,
Exactly.
to be honest, still doing calls at 2 a.m. And the reason for that, we covered it in last week's training. We covered the fact that if you get to optimize your calendar time by creating the opportunity to sell one to many, then you naturally have the ability to speak to more people more often. Who caught last week's training, by the way, guys? Who was? Just let me know if you were in the training last week. Peter's just chatting there about we still have beard envy, but he's typed bread envy. So that would be my wife's department. She'll have bread envy. So guys, anybody who caught last week's training, if you didn't catch last week's training, we started to talk about this concept of one to many, and we started to look at why should you do one to many? And there was many reasons for it, not only calendar optimization, but also the fact that you can engage social proof by having multiple people on a call, right? As soon as you've got more than one person on a call, and especially if they're in the same industry, let's say salespeople, right? So when we're presenting our lead generation tool to a team of salespeople, it doesn't take much for 2, 3, 4, 10 people on a call to start to feel like, wow, this is something really cool, when you have a whole bunch of people popping into the chat going, wow, great, do this, find this. This is my ideal client. Wow, these guys are already in my prospecting list. Like, that kind of feedback on a one-to-many call is amazing. So one-to-many calls allow so much leverage. And guys, this is part 2 of a 3-part training. So if you missed last week's call, do look it up in our school environment in the classroom there. You'll find our part 1 training where we literally start to break down how one-to-many sales training works, how you can engage it in your business today. We walk through a lot of AI in that space, because for a lot of people, it is difficult to even start to conceive a presentation. And we showed exactly how to do that. Kyle, can you just drop the link for our school into the chat there so Nick can jump in as well? So we started with, how do we create this one-to-many? Why do we create one-to-many? And today we're going to look a little bit deeper in this space. And as Johan said, we're going to break down some of the experts and build that out for you. So I used to own a webinar company, which was a lot of fun. We sold that a couple of years ago to an investor group out of Malaysia, which was great. But during that time and since then, I've literally run thousands of webinars. Now, I am nowhere near as good as the Russell Brunson and Jason Fladlians and geniuses of the world in this space, but they have taught me, and it's certainly helped me do well. My best ever webinar, we made $130,000 in 90 minutes, which is pretty cool, which was great. You know, it was a good thing. We did $700,000 in a week. $726,000 US in 1 week, running 3 webinars with affiliates driving to a launch offer. So we've done some cool stuff. I've also had the experience of nobody turning up, which is a reality as well. And even the ones where nobody turned up and I presented in a monologue, we were able to turn that into a replay, into content, and bust that out to get some benefit for it. So I've done it a little bit, I guess, is the framework there. And what I want to get for you guys is the opportunity to blow up your business running one-to-many sales. And as we talked about last week, one of the things that's really changed our business at Comet Suite is running one-to-many sales in the format of a workshop, right? And we talked about that last week, being that webinars themselves are thinly veiled sales pitches, and almost everybody knows it, right? So thinly veiled sales pitches. It's like, come and attend a webinar on, I don't know, investment property in this era. You know that at the end, there's going to be some sort of pitch and there's going to be a cover. But running a workshop, also as a thinly veiled sales call, by the way, allows you to frame it a little bit differently. And our results have been amazing. So I gave you numbers last week. When I talked last week about running one-to-many sales, I gave a number and I said in the last 3 weeks I've spoken to 123 people and I've done that in 3 hours. If we throw in yesterday's training, we can now say that I've spoken to over 200 people and my total investment is 4 hours. All right. So one-to-many sales gives you so much leverage. And yes, we've added thousands of dollars to our bottom line as a result of those webinars, which has been great. So today we're going to talk about bringing those one-to-many sales to life. And I encourage you to put this training together in that 1, 2, 3 format. So week 1, last week, week 2, and next week, we've got a special guest, which I'll talk about in just a second, with some specific tech in the webinar space. So let's talk about bringing one-to-many sales to life. Last week, as we mentioned, we looked at the calendar saver, one-to-many sales, being able to do 1 or 2 hours in a week and speak to 15 people. Amazing. That means you can get on with your life and run your business. Okay. How to maximize those registrations. We talked about those being workshops and giving away free downloads. Okay. How to maximize attendance. Make sure you've got a value-based gift for people to turn up. Now, don't give them the gift at the start because they come, they get the gift and they go. Give them the reminder of the gift. Stick with us until the end to download our free, whatever it might be. Peter, you saw us do that yesterday. And then give that free gift at the end. So maximize the attendance. You've worked hard to get those registration numbers. Maximize the attendance. And then we talk about how to maximize conversions. And as we spoke about, it's always about the offer. It's always, 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 always about the offer. Making the offer better. Breaking up your business into a multi-pronged approach when it comes to the offer. So we don't just do SEO services for a client and charge $2,000. We do an analysis of your current framework. That's worth $450. We do a keyword analysis and breakdown of competitors. That's worth $997. We do an outline and game plan and strategy attack. That's worth $750. Then we do a content plan and deployment system. That's worth $450. We literally break down the entire piece by piece of the service to make the value of what we offer better. And then we stack on some bonuses, which I'll talk a little bit more about today. But maximizing your conversions is always about the offer. If you're not getting the conversions on a webinar, change up the offer, add more to it, create it, make it so good that people feel dumb saying no to it. Right. And we also covered last week, which I thought was fun, the right way to build out workshops using AI. And we gave examples last week where with a prompt into ChatGPT, we were able to get 6 different topics of workshops that we could run. Now, if you're running one every 2 weeks, that gives you 12 weeks worth of workshops that you could run. Then we talked about how you could take those prompts, take it one step further and get the system to even outline what needs to be covered in each module. What's the video that needs to be included? What PDFs, and give you the breakdown. Like you can have your entire teaching framework created in just a few minutes using technology, which is really super cool. Oh, and PS, by the way, check out the extra bonus webinar we did 2 weeks ago where we built an entire business from scratch with AI, launched on Kickstarter, interviewed the founder there who did $20,000 on day 1. And she's now up to, I think, $50,000 or $60,000. And it's only 2 weeks into the campaign, Johan. Incredible. So there's amazing things that you can do with AI, but we're going to cover that a little bit more in today as well. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the one-to-many infrastructure. And if you look up the word infrastructure like I had to last night, I'm an Australian, don't forget, didn't do well in school, so I have to look at that kind of stuff. Infrastructure is the connected series of systems that allow an action to take place. All right? So this is the infrastructure that supports one-to-many sales. How do we create this and turn it into a system? So we're going to talk about the pre-event structure and system. What do we do before we even get on the camera? The post-event structure. How do we maximize that once the event's been done? What do we do next? We're going to talk very briefly about during the event, okay? And we're going to look at some very well-known, well-regarded frameworks for constructing webinars by Brunson, Fladlien, and Baylis, right? With a combination there of over $100 million in webinars, that's a pretty good breakdown. Now, Jason Fladlien has got a thing where he's actually done $100 million himself. So I know that that's a pretty accurate claim. Right. We're going to talk this through.
I was going to say that the third guy is my favorite.
I love you, man. You're awesome. I learned from these guys. Right. So then we're going to take a look at a quick tech stack that we use internally and introduce our special guests for next week who've got a really big part in that. So let's kick it off. So this is going to be what our cover is. Guys, again, this is your training. The reason Johan and I put this on, the reason why Kyle's in the background helping us make sure that this is a great training and we get all of this replays out to everybody, is we're here for you to succeed. My goal, hand on heart, from these trainings is that you make a ton more sales as a result. Is that okay? Guys, is that okay? Is it okay if I help you make more sales? Just give me a 1 if that's okay. If I have your permission to help you as much as I can make more sales, right? 1. Cool, thanks. That's my goal here, all right? So together, the team at Comet Suite are here to help you guys succeed. And I always share this. There's no ulterior motive. The reality is if we help you make sales, then by the very nature of that, we make more sales. We're selling licenses along with you. So the better we can help you, the more we can do for you, the better our company does. That is our game plan. So you have genuine partners in this. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to talk specifics. So this is from our one-to-many training workshop that we did yesterday. We had 54 people on the call live, and we've added a whole bunch more to the replay that have come through overnight. And without breaking company secrets, added several $1,000s in monthly recurring revenue to our overall tally as a result of yesterday's call. Cool, awesome. So let's have a look at this. Yesterday's live workshop, what we did. Now this is the 4th week in a row that we've run this specific workshop, okay? And let's have a look at what we did. We ran 30-second Facebook Reel ads. Now we had a whole bunch of other ads running on Facebook, bringing people to the workshop. But by far and away, in terms of conversions, in terms of signups, the Reel ads performed the best. So we had a little video snippet talking about, what the workshop's going to cover as a Reel ad on Facebook, and inviting people to register, okay? Inviting people to come and register for the workshop. Now, we also had, of course, an outbound campaign running, and this is a screenshot from our actual outbound invitation campaign where we're reaching out to our ideal prospects. Why would we do that? Well, hey, don't we own a lead generation tool, and isn't that exactly what it's for? So we're running ads, we're running an outbound campaign, and where both of those campaigns are running to a registration page, okay? Now you can see an example of that page up on the screen there. cometsuite.com/50K is the actual page link if you want to check it out. But the landing page with the registration. Now, in yesterday's call, our actual numbers at registration was 205 people in total. Okay, so we ran the ads here and the outbound campaign with a total of 205 people registered. We also, just in terms of ad spend, just to keep our numbers accurate, we spent $1,350 on Facebook ads in this last week. $1,350 on ads. Our outbound campaign cost us pretty much nothing, but if we counted $150 a month for our lead gen system, we're in the right space, okay? So 205 people registered specifically for last week's call, for yesterday's call. Once they registered, and again, guys, this is the framework. Once they registered, we're dropping them into a reminder sequence. Now, you can use the one that's an existing recipe inside of GHL, but this reminder sequence is just literally, thanks for registering as soon as they do. 24 hours before, we send them out a, don't forget the event tomorrow. 1 hour before, we send out a, hey, we're just about to get started. And 10 minutes before, we send out an email and a text that says, here's the link, don't forget, see you on the call. This is why you signed up. So we're reminding them what we're going to cover in the workshop, okay? So ads to registration page, reminding them to get on the call, okay? And yes, we're offering those free gift, as I mentioned. Come and get a free download of our playbook, okay? And that resulted in 54 people attending live yesterday, okay? That's a screenshot of our call yesterday. So 54 people attended live yesterday, and a whole bunch more have hit the replay even in the last few hours, which is great. So ads, outbound, registration, reminder, attendees. Next, from those who attended and those who missed it, we're sending up a follow-up and replay campaign. Okay, so we've got people in our sequence here that didn't attend the workshop. Okay, ones that did attend the workshop, they're getting slightly different emails, getting an invitation to come and watch the replay. And part of that is then also we've built in a scarcity campaign where we're pushing those enrolled people to a scarcity campaign, which is come and get the special offer. This is the last time you'll hear about it. We will only get one more notification. This is the last notification you're going to get about our workshop social offer. Now, note that I'm saying it's the last notification you're going to get because we're running the offer on an ongoing basis. Like this is our evergreen offer. But our scarcity is real because we're saying this is the last time I'm going to tell you about this. Okay? Be real, be genuine. So now what are we doing in terms of this framework is we're consistently building this database. And everybody that's registering to attend a workshop, if they turn up, they go into a sequence of replays and come and watch it. But if they don't purchase from us, they're getting invited to the workshop next week as well. Now, those workshops are running on an evergreen system, okay? So they're getting invited to the workshop on a weekly basis. And again, this is the last time you're going to hear about it. This is the workshop. You got to come and grab this package. And we're moving those people through with active, ongoing follow-up in terms of email campaigns, etc. So an important point here, guys, and let me just go face camera here for a second. When you register people for a workshop, webinar, event, live summit, whatever it might be, when you register people for an event, some will turn up. Great. That's what we're doing it for. Some won't. Oh my God, what happened? Who knows? The kids might have been sick. They had to stop the house from flooding like Johan did last week, right? Life is what happened. They didn't turn up. It doesn't mean they're not interested. It just means that life got in the way. So what do? We make sure we invite them to a replay. We invite them to the next event because you're there. You've got something amazing to offer. They are interested. Otherwise, they wouldn't have registered. Let them know how they can get involved. So you're building your database on an ongoing basis. Even if you're not getting the sale, the database is worth gold. Any marketer will tell you the money's in the list, right? And what does that mean? The money is in the list. The bigger you can build your targeted database of interested people, the more you can do, okay? You can do JV partnerships. If you've got 5,000 people on a database, now I'm running 250 a week, so it's only one month worth of database building. If I've got that running for a few months behind the scenes, I can do JV partnerships with people who have got huge businesses by saying I've got 2,500, 3,000, 5,000 niche targeted people on my database. I'd love to do a promotion with you. Let me at it. How can we help you? Let's get a competition going on, okay? So building this database, and I've got here a little note, a little image down in this bottom right-hand corner that I hope you guys notice as a red flashing light. It's a phone, right? One of our guys that joined our sales team got a job with us because he turned up on the call with a hat that said, "Call the leads." Call the leads. All right. Just very careful to keep the E off my expletive note there. Call the leads. Dude, you've worked so hard. Now, this doesn't have to be an actual human on a call. There's technology these days, which you can automate this outbound follow-up. You can do voicemail drops inside of GHL. But if you've got people that are genuinely interested, like that's our literal opportunity board from GHL as of yesterday after the call, this right-hand column is people that have come and watched, registered, they've seen the webinar. Now, my team are not calling 100,000 people, they're calling 10, right? The people that registered, the people that have viewed but didn't sign up, okay? But call the leads. So people who attend, people who missed it, coming into a replay campaign, a scarcity campaign, being told this is the last opportunity for you to come and find out about the system. They're coming to watch a replay and they're going in engage follow-up. Now, guys, that is a system. That is a system. And I want to talk to you about this just for a second because it's really, really, really important. And then we're going to break this down a little bit more, okay? But I want to talk to you about this in a little bit more. I'm currently reading for about the 5th time James Clear's Atomic Habits. And if you haven't read this, go and pick it up. I've got it. I say I'm reading it, but I'm not. I'm listening to it on Audible, which is my favorite little lifetime learning, okay? Atomic Habits. So James Clear in the book talks about this. He says, direct quote from the book, when you set a goal, you give yourself a direction. It's like a North Star, okay? Headed that way. The system you build will be what gets you to the goal. And then this is really, really impressive, right? This is really important. Because then he says, in fact, if you just focused on the system, you'd likely hit the goal anyway without ever setting it. It's not about setting goals. It's about the system that you build to support the achievement of those goals, yeah? Let's give it a test. What if I set a goal to earn $1 million from one-to-many sales in a workshop format, just like Walt's been teaching? What if that's my goal? $1 million in sales. Cool, good goal, love it. Let's bring that on. All right, now, what is the system that's going to do that? Registrations, landing pages, the presentation itself, follow-ups, all of the steps I'm about to cover. Now, if we just focused on those things, getting more registrations, getting my presentation better, getting my offer better, getting my follow-up better, if I just focused on the system and making the system better, I will have most chance of hitting my goal. Focusing on the system will get you to the goal, right? So let's look at that system in a little bit more detail. Guys, is this okay? Like, I feel like I'm monologuing. Hopefully I'm not just talking at you. Is this okay, guys? Like, let me know if this is okay. Hey, Crystal's in the room. Great to see you, Crystal.
Absolutely loving it. I know.
So good to see everybody. So great. All right.
And Nick Craven.
Nick is here. Love it. So good.
What's up,
Clayton
what's
just joined us
up?
yesterday. Fantastic. So great to have everybody here. Jeff is in the room. What? Amazing to have you here, man. Laurie's here. Hey, Laurie, old-time client. Thank you so much for jumping in. Amazing to see you guys. Old friends, new friends, good friends. So good to see. All right, cool. So what is the system? The ongoing workshop webinar system. Now, if I could underline any word on that page, it would be the word ongoing, right? Why? Because if I set a goal to lose weight and the system is eat healthy and go to the gym, and I do that for a week, will I hit my goal? I don't know. If I set a pretty small goal, maybe, right? But it's the ongoing repetition of the system that enables you to hit the goal, okay? And quite often, seriously, I got to do this face to camera thing again. Seriously, here's something that anybody looking to achieve will experience in their direction. They'll hit what we call the plateau of no results. And you'll hit that plateau and it's unbelievable frustration, right? It's like, I'm working hard, man. I'm eating healthy. I'm going to the gym and I just can't seem to lose that weight. It's just not happening. And that's where most people quit. But what's different is that your thermostat is just slowly changing a little bit. And after you get through that plateau, your results just go ding, and you're like, whoa. And people say all the time, it took me 12 months to become an overnight success, yeah? When I did that interview with Colton Havens talking about getting 60 million views on a TikTok channel, he also talked about the fact that his first 100 videos got less than 10 views each. But he had to get those ones done to get the 60 million. You literally have to pay the price. And it's ongoing momentum, right? Again, in Atomic Habits, he talks about the fact that the stone cutter will hit the stone 100 times with no result. You're like, what the heck? Why is that guy doing that? And then the 101st hit, stone just cracks in two. But it wasn't the 101st hit that made the crack. It was the 100 that led up to it that built up the tension until the breakthrough happened, right? So again, if I can emphasize one word in this little page, it's going to be that word ongoing. The ongoing workshop webinar system, okay? Create something that you can run evergreen. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And then invite people to it, right? Not getting enough registrations? Change your invitation. Change your page. Not getting enough conversions? Change your offer, okay? But don't stop the pressure, because this is what's going to push it through, okay? So here is the system, the 5 steps. If you want to take a screenshot at the end of this, please do. It's the invitation. Now, the invitation is what? It's an email. It's a DM on Instagram. It's a post in a Facebook group. It's a reach out on LinkedIn. The invitation can take so many different forms, and you've got a tool in your back pocket that allows you to reach people in all of those platforms. Right? So if you've got a workshop that teaches salespeople how to generate leads using AI, which is exactly what you all have with White Label Suite, okay? Where would be a great place to post that invitation? Business groups on Facebook that are filled with salespeople. Good one. Now, if you make a post in a Facebook group, you have got a really good chance of your admin of that Facebook group deleting that post and kicking you out as a spammer. What? That's not the message I thought you were going to give me. Yeah, well, it's true. We own a Facebook group with thousands of people in it. And if people just pop in and drop in their links, we go, rack off, man. This is my group. So how do we do it? How do we do it? I engage my secret. I push the Johan button, right? Johan is my secret weapon in terms of creating networks and connections. I push the Johan button and Johan forms a great relationship. He reaches out and speaks to, hey, look at that, I've got balloons. He reaches out and speaks to the administrator of that Facebook group, and he's a human. I'm not a human. I'm a mechanic. I'm a robot. I don't speak, right? But Johan is brilliant. So he'll reach out to people and say, hey, I love the group. Amazing. And before you know it, Johan's got an incredible, genuine business-related connection with the administrator of a Facebook group that's got 50,000 people in it. And then Johan, after a few weeks of generating and nurturing this relationship, say, hey, I'm running a workshop next week for my salespeople talking about how they use AI. Am I okay to drop that link in the group? And the admin goes, of course, man, drop it. Now, when he drops it, he also gets an endorsement from the administrator of the group who likes it. Oh, worth gold? Hell yeah. Worth a couple of weeks? Hell yeah. Now, what's the thing? Go into a group and post your link and be a spammer, or create a relationship and get the guy on side who actually has the database that you're trying to reach anyway. Now, financially reward them by being an affiliate. Dude, now you're just like rocket fuel. All right, we're going to do a specific training on creating JV partnerships and relationships and affiliates in just a little while. All right, but the invitation, guys. Step one, the invitation. Invite your targeted audience to come to your workshop. Now, if you're sitting on this call, guys, give me a 1 if this is you. If you're sitting on this call going, yeah, but I don't have a workshop and I don't know what to teach, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're sitting there going, how am I going to invite? I don't have people to invite. What am I going to do? If that's you, just drop a 1 for me, just so I know where you're at. All right, 1, 1, 1, couple of 1s. All right, guys, the solution to that is last week's training. Because what we talk about is literally how you can create a workshop from scratch in minutes and get that whole system going on. One of the things I didn't talk about last week was one of my favorite tools online at the moment, which is called Answer the Public, or Ask the Public. Ask the Public.
Answer the Public.
Answer the Public. There you go. Mental blank. There you go. Introduced to me by Billie Jean at the Dallas event. Amazing, because if you want to know what your audience is looking for, this is your spot. Okay. I should have signed in with my Comment Suite email because that's the one I've got it in. But anyway, it's okay. Comment Suite, we've got the pro account. Here we're just going to use this. Now, what if I wanted to find out, what do salespeople search for? So I can create a workshop about it. Salespeople. Go. All right. Now, this is the free version. You can do this 3 times a day on the free version. This answerthepublic.com will give you the questions that salespeople search for, right? Highly searched, average search, lower search. Let's have a look at some of the questions. How is Salesforce composited? Okay, I don't want to run that. How to as a salesperson? How much should a salesperson generate? Nice, I could run a workshop on that. How good can I be as a salesperson? What makes a good salesperson? Ooh. Would I be a good salesperson? Where to buy Person of the Year Time magazine? Why is that a highly searched term? I don't know, but it looks like a good affiliate opportunity. Which salespeople make the most money? Will sales reps be replaced by AI? Now that's a highly searched term. With $6.55 per click, I can put 1,000 salespeople in my funnel, knowing that they're salespeople, using the tool that I've got, and save myself $655 just in that replace. Now that's a highly searched term, very relevant to our tool. Could I build a workshop all around how to ensure you don't get replaced by AI as a salesperson? Yeah. Now follow the tips from last week. Take that topic, take any of these topics, have a look through, find out what's being looked for, and create workshops that are highly in demand from the target audience you're chasing, and invite them. Step 1, create the invite. Hey, I'm running a workshop next week. Love to invite your team. Got 3 places spare if you'd like to grab a seat. Register here. Okay? Invitation, step 1. Step 2, capture. Build the database. Now, guys, we've got an incredible tool with GHL, but if you're not using GHL, you can build a lead capture form on Google Forms, right, for free. Capture that lead. What does it mean by capture the lead? If you go to commercesuite.com and 50K, which is our workshop registration page, which is where all of our ads are heading to, if you go to this page, you'll probably be retargeted by our Facebook ads, right? But you're already part of the system, so you can ignore it. But what do I mean by capture the leads? Register, name, email, phone, and information. That is a lead capture system. Okay? So capture the leads is step 2 in our system. Remind the leads. So many times I've made this mistake of getting people registered. All right, yeah, they've got it in their calendar. Start up my Zoom call and beep, no one. It's like, oh, damn, I forgot to send out the reminder emails. Remind people. Let them know why they're coming. John, can't wait to see you on Tuesday. We've got the workbook ready to go for you. I'll have the download link for you as soon as you rock into the Zoom room. Okay? Remind people to turn up. Step 3. So invite them using any platform you choose. Capture them using a lead system. Remind them to turn up. Present. Okay, so you've got to actually present. Now, you can use a whole bunch of tools to do that if you don't want to ever be on camera, right? Do the presentation and follow up. The ongoing, hover there for effect, workshop webinar system. Now, if you want to hit $1 million in sales and you run the 5 steps of this system continuously, you will have a great shot of achieving that. More invitations, more leads captured, more reminder emails sent out, better presentations with better offers, more follow-up, repeat. Okay. Now, the cool thing is, what we're going to talk about with evergreen webinars is once you've got a good recording in the can, video terminology, recorded and saved on your hard drive, right? An evergreen webinar becomes something so magical. And next week, we're going to introduce the guys from Webinar Kit, who were some of the first to ever help me get set up with an evergreen webinar. And I got to tell you, I remember evergreen webinar. I remember I'd run a workshop a few times until I was happy with the recording. Like yesterday's workshop, Johan, for you and I, that was the best recording we've done of our workshop. So that's the one we're running forward with as our evergreen presentation. It took us 4 tries. Okay. That was the 4th try. Tweak it a little bit, change a slide here, there. Cool. Awesome webinar. All right. Recorded, saved on file. And the evergreen kicks in. The first time I ever ran an evergreen webinar, I honestly thought somebody had just given me a gold medal. I was like, I can't believe, but this is unbelievable. I remember the day clearly. I was at TGI Fridays in Doncaster, Victoria, enjoying a coffee and a piece of cake while my daughters were at some playground, and I had this evergreen webinar running in what we call like live mode. Like live. Oh, that's a new one. Confetti. Ooh. Like live. Haven't seen that one before. Like live. What does that mean? It means that the recorded presentation was running. People were there and interacting in the chat. I was presenting nothing, just simply answering the messages in the chat as people were talking. And it was coming across like it was live. Thanks, John. Amazing. And I was sitting there, sipping my coffee, eating my cake, watching my kids play. It's like, yeah, it's really great. For someone who had never done an evergreen webinar before, the stress of a live presentation is always massive. I'm like, what if my technology fails? What if my mic doesn't? Oh my God, right? Running this evergreen webinar was like the biggest blessing I've ever had. It's incredible. And the Webinar Kit crew have added in a feature where you can actually download the Zoom chat, like as people are chatting, and add it to the webinar. So even if there's only one person on your live event, it looks like there's 30 in the room. All right. Now I've played with this back and forth a whole bunch of times. I've done the thing where I pretend it's live and I've like try and convince people it's live. Now we get to the point where I literally tell people, hey, this is a recorded presentation, but our team's here live in the chat. We've got a lot to cover. No, this one's not evergreen, Nick. This is a training call, but great question. So we always like let people know. There's programs out there like Stealth Webinar, which like people specialize in making sure it feels like live or looks like live. I like the transparent approach. Guys, I've got a lot to cover. There's so many things that I want to get through. that I've recorded the presentation piece so I don't miss anything, but I am here in the chat and I'm live. Test me out. All right. Hey, John, great to see you. All right. Yes, it's raining outside, whatever. Okay. Running an evergreen webinar is incredible. Guys, before everybody rushes off and buys webinar kit, the team have got a pretty special deal for us next week. So just come along to the training and save yourself some money, right? So like live webinars become your best friend. It's so incredible. But then this is then part of the system, right? So here's the 5 steps. We invite people in our ideal target audience to come and learn about a topic that you know is relevant to their space. We capture their details and information, which adds to our database, which gives us an incredible leverage point moving forward. We remind them of their booking, all right? We present the information and we follow up. Repeat. Invite, capture, remind, present, follow up. Now, in taking the Frank Kern methodology, we could do a webinar on all of those answers from answerthepublic.com, all right? And then find a different workshop and a different workshop, and we could run one this week and run in 2 weeks' time and one in 2 weeks after that. And we could put it on a big cycle, right? We're just getting the system more and more and more robust, right? Jim Rohn says that keep building that wall around you until it's so impenetrable that nothing can touch you. You're literally just one brick at a time, okay? So the ongoing workshop webinar system. And again, let's test our theory. If our goal is to sell $15,000 a month in monthly recurring income of whatever it is that you sell, being the leads tool, GHL, any other tools that you've got out there, 15,000 a month is my goal. If we focused on inviting the most amount of people, capturing those leads as they came in, reminding them to turn up, presenting well and creating a great offer, and following them up, who thinks that they'd have a great chance of building towards that $15,000 a month income? Who feels that that would actually help them to achieve the goal if they focused on the steps of the system? Guys, would that be helpful? Yes. Cool. Hope so. Right. So let's look at some of these assets that you need. Guys, again, you're going to have a replay to this screen. You can take screenshots if you want to. All right. These are the assets you need to have in place before the event runs. Okay. There's not a lot of them. And AI is your best friend, right? So these are the assets that you need. Number 1, a breakdown of your ideal market and the issues you want to solve. Now, Johan, you shared a post with me yesterday about defining the audience and about like the depth of that. Do you want to just speak about that for a sec?
I shared a lot of posts with you, brother. I don't know which one.
Yeah, no. So you were talking the one that I'm referencing. You were like, when people talk about defining their audience, we go, okay. I actually learned this from Justin Sardi, who runs the YouTube Ads Workshop. And Justin was saying, learn to know your audience. And I was like, yeah, cool, got it. People with a pulse, that's my audience. It's like, no, let's get a little bit more specific. And he used a phrase that I've used many, many, many times since. So you guys, write this down. When you're trying to define the audience, the most important question I've ever found is this one. What keeps them up at night? Right? Now, if I know that my audience are business coaches, or my audience are real estate agents, or my audience are salespeople, or my audience are CEOs, whoever my audience is, cool. Level 1. Level 2, what kind of person are they? An alpha, they're a decision maker, these are the kind of traits they have. Cool, awesome. What are they interested in? They're interested in achievement. They're interested in, getting more things. They're interested in hitting those targets and goals. Amazing. What keeps them up at night? Ooh. Now you're putting yourself into the mind of your ideal client, right? And if you can enter the mind of your ideal client, asking the question that's already in their head, you can change their world by answering that question, right? So what keeps them up at night? What does a CEO worry about? Well, they're going to worry about their team performance. They're going to worry about their financial projections. They're going to worry about that competitor on the horizon. They're going to worry about whatever else it might be. What does a real estate agent worry about? Am I going to get enough listings next week? How am I going to convince people to list with me? How can I increase my knowledge in the local market space? Cool. What is a salesperson? What keeps them up at night? How am I going to hit my targets? What am I going to sell to that prospect tomorrow? How am I going to perform in my job, right? How am I going to keep my income coming in? If you can answer that question, what keeps my ideal prospect up at night, that's going to help you understand who you're targeting and what to show them, right? So when we say break down your ideal target market, don't go shallow. Get deep. right? If you can understand your prospect and the challenges they face, the next steps of this are going to be so much easier because you're going to write your invitation to answer that challenge. Hey, if you're a salesperson that worries about hitting your targets for next month, come along to our AI workshop and find out how you can avoid being replaced by technology by engaging one simple strategy. Oh, crap. That was written specifically for me. I am at that call, right? Think about it. If you can write the invitation to answer that biggest question, direct it to your target audience, have you got a better shot of them turning up? Simple stuff, right? And again, ChatGPT, best friend. I'll talk about that in a second. So number 2, your topic. So this is another asset you need. So we've got a breakdown of our ideal market. Now we need your topic. And again, I'll talk about these 2 things more in just a second because it's super important. Your landing page and capture system. Boom. There are literally hundreds of templates in your GHL folder. There are hundreds of templates you can download for free for WordPress, hundreds of templates that you can add in for ClickFunnels. Every other page builder system out there on the planet has thousands of them. And if you're still stuck, drop onto Upwork, pay $20, and somebody will build one for you, right? You need a landing page and a way for a lead to register for your workshop. That's an asset that you need to have in place before you send your first invitation. Tick it off, get it done, put it up. Doesn't need to be sexy, all right? Doesn't need to be sexy. Just literally needs to shout out the workshop, the solution you're going to provide. If you face this problem in your business, we're running a free training on how to solve it. Register here. 6 places available, right? Now, next you need to write 3 to 5 invitation emails and DMs. 3 to 5. Just write 3 emails. Put them in a Google Doc. Save them in your templates area in GHL. Just write an email that says, hey, insert niche here. If you're facing insert problem here, we're running a free training that can help you solve that without ever needing to be an AI genius or tech-savvy entrepreneur. If that sounds of interest, we have limited spots available. Click here to register. Easy as.
Guys, if you want a template, just copy our templates. Copy the emails that you get from us.
100%. Exactly. A DM. You're sending a DM. So who would I send a DM to somebody that I'm trying to invite, right? So if I'm trying to hit somebody who's an entrepreneur, would the followers of Alex Hormozi be a good audience? Hell yeah. Hey, David, notice that you commented on Alex's last video. I'm running a workshop on exactly that subject. I've got a free ticket. Let me know if you'd like anybody else to attend with you. Tap into the viral, right? Send a DM. Be a human, be a person. Connect with the owner of the page, the Instagram account owner. Engage the Johan button. Actually, he's my secret weapon. So you can't engage the Johan button. But what you can do is reach out and be a person, connect with them and talk about their business, get an understanding, and then ask them if they'd like to share the workshop with their people. All right. And then, of course, you need your presentation. Duh. All right. This is an asset you're going to need. Now, your presentation doesn't need to be sexy. You will notice on this slide deck, I have limited graphics. I have one font. I have bullet points. And again, if you suck at creating PowerPoint presentations, AI can do it for you, or a $20 person on Upwork can do it for you. Just drop down the bullet points you want to cover and send off to them. All right. Create your presentation to answer that biggest question, and you have all of the assets you need to get started in the system. After the event, you need a few things. You need a platform to host your video replay. Now, you can use GHL. You can just upload the video straight onto GHL, onto a page. You can have it in Zoom as a Zoom recorded replay. You can upload it to YouTube or Vimeo. You can add it to school, Facebook, wherever. Okay? And Webinar Kit, again, for evergreen. But you need a platform to host your video replay. There's a whole bunch of those that are free. Facebook's one of them. YouTube's one of them. Okay? Vimeo's one of them. So you can somewhere to put your replay so people can watch it. Okay. You need these are the emails that you need. You need a 2-hour thank you email. So 2 hours after the event finishes, thanks for attending. Here's the replay. Okay. A 2-hour thank you email. Get it written. You need a 24-hour replay email. Hey, just letting you know that we've got our replays live. Click here to check it out. Okay. You can track your clicks and get all that kind of stuff. Remember, build your system one block at a time. But this is just the asset that you need. You need a 48-hour closing tomorrow email. What does that look like? Hey, John, tomorrow is the last day that I'm going to be reminding you about the workshop. Tomorrow. If you don't want to miss this opportunity, click here, watch the replay now before it's too late. Okay. Now, I'm not taking the replay down. I'm just telling John that I'm not going to bug him anymore about it. So while I'm bugging you, John, go and watch the replay. All right. And then on what I call closing day, so 3 days after the event, close off the sequence. And on the final day, send a couple of closing emails. One in the morning. Hey, John, last day that I'm going to be reminding you about this workshop. If you haven't watched the replay, John, it's going to be too late. And then one at about 5 p.m. in local time, right? So our clients, we typically do everything in Eastern time. So around 5 p.m. Hey, John, final chance. Last time I'm going to remind you to go and watch this workshop. If you're still interested in solving the biggest problem that you've got as an industry by learning about how we do it, this is your last opportunity to go and check out the workshop. So that is the post-event assets. It's literally just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emails. Okay. And then Anik Singhal, in his training with us, which is in our masterclass vault, by the way, talks about lengthening the funnel. Lengthening the funnel. So once you have this post-event asset sequence in place, add to it next week. Next week, talk about a different aspect and run a different workshop, but put people back into the sequence. In fact, Kyle, who's on our call, one of the things I said to him the other day was, as we build up these workshops, we're just literally dropping them into the end of the sequence because somebody's on our database. And people often worry about burning the database, right? What if I burn out my database? Don't mail them 50 times a day. But the best people in the industry mail at least once a day. There's no such thing as burning your database, right? People can opt out of that specific campaign, but there's no such thing as burning your database. It's literally they're on your database for the reason of doing business with you. Okay, now you can keep them engaged and drop great content, and there's lots of training on that does it. But lengthening the funnel means that they've opted into to this week's workshop, and next week I'm going to remind them with a different angle. It might even be the same workshop. All right, but it's a different angle. Last week, we talked about generating leads with AI. This week, we're going to talk about how those leads can be communicated with AI. All right, same workshop if you're running it as an evergreen, but a different angle on the invitation. Lengthen the funnel. All right, as a massive pro tip, take this one down. In your post-event assets, leveraging affiliates and influencers on this same model can grow your database and sales quicker than you can ever possibly believe. Let me give you a real life case study. Okay. 3.5 years ago, I ran a webinar. I got a good version of it. I made it into an evergreen webinar and I put it up onto WebinarKit. And then I reached out to all my affiliates, JVs, influencers, and I said, I've got a great converting webinar. Let's run a little contest. So I gave away like $500 for people who could register the most amount of people to the webinar. And I paid like a commission on sales they made on the call, right? Who can get the most registrations to this webinar? Now, literally, I've got an evergreen webinar. I've got all my emails and sequences in place. And then I used influencers and JV partners to send traffic to that webinar, right? I didn't have to create anything new. So now I had influencers and JV partners sending traffic to the webinar. We made $50,000 in 1 week, but more than that, we added over 3,500 people to our database because all of these people were just sending their registrations to us. All right. So a massive pro tip from a leverage point of view is once you have your assets in place, using affiliates, JV partners, and influencers can multiply your results quickly. And again, we're going to run more training on specifically JVs and affiliate partnerships. All right. Cool. Event frameworks. How do I build a good presentation? This guy knows his stuff. When I ordered the Genius Webinar Framework, it arrived in a beautifully presented box. It had incredible stuff in it. It had a CD, it had training, and it was all about this document. Now, if you're worried that I'm sharing copyrighted information, let me tell you, if you go to Google and type in Russell Brunson perfect webinar, this document is everywhere. So I don't mind sharing it on this PowerPoint view. All right. In fact, if you'd like to know about what this is all about, hop on over to YouTube and literally just search for it. All right. So I've got Jason Fladley in there as a search, which I was going to show you guys. Actually, I'll go back, see if I can get to where I searched. Right. So Jason Fladley's webinar framework, Russell Brunson's perfect webinar. Let's go. Russell Brunson webinar. You can watch that document be broken down on YouTube for free, okay, with a whole step-by-step. Ain't no secrets here. But the secret, again, it's like Jim Rohn said, it's not what it costs. It's what it costs if you don't learn it, right? The first study that I did of webinars was via Russell's Perfect Webinar Framework. And there's some great things here. He talks about the breakdown, the intro, make a bold promise, hook to the end, stay with me all the way because I've got a special offer. Tell them why you're qualified to talk about this. The future pacing, this is one of the big things I learned. Imagine when your business is so automated that you've got leads coming in on demand. Imagine what that will do for you. Future pace, right? So I'm learning this stuff from one of the best in the biz. Content. So he does this. Let me show you the 3 secrets of how, insert content topic here, AI can help you as a salesperson fill your funnels. Secret 1, use AI. Secret 2, use AI a lot. Secret 3, keep using AI, right? So break and build their belief patterns. And then he does this transition where he said, let me ask you a question. And this is where he goes into the closes, right? If you're sitting there telling me you don't have enough disposable income, what do you mean disposable income, right? Are you looking for money or excuses? Like all of the closes that Russell goes through with this event framework is amazing. So I learned this, and I learned the value stack, right? This has been, in my opinion, done to death, except I saw Alex Hormozi do it, done to life at the end of his thing, where I'm going to give you this, and that's worth $2,000, add to the stack. I'm going to give you that, and that's worth $5,000, add to the stack. And I'm going to give you this, it's $25,000, and add to the stack, right? Stacking that value until you get to the system. And then it's like, if you only got this out of the webinar, wouldn't it be worth it? All right. If I was going to charge you $10,000, you'd see that this is clear, babe, but I'm not. I'm not even going to charge you $5,000. In fact, today it's not even $2,000. In fact, today, if you're taking out, it's only $1,000, right? This whole framework was Russell's perfect webinar format, right? And Hormozi did it perfectly, beautifully, right? But this is available online for anybody to go and learn. I paid, I think $19.97 to go through the course. Yeah, but you can go and get it on YouTube right now. You can watch it all the way through. Amazing. So Russell Brunson, the framework was really cool. But the big learning curve for me when it came to webinars was Jason Fladlian's Genius Webinar Format. And again, this whole training, I paid, I think $4,997, $5,000 to go through this training, worth every penny. But this was what it was all about. 5 to 15 minutes, he talks about how to build authority, how to get commitment from the people that are there, covering objections before they even start, building hope, intrigue, covering the content, all right? Going through a 60-second transition from content to sale, closing, how to build the offer stack. Like, this was amazing. And again, search on YouTube, it's all there. So all of this is like, it's like trading in the Honda Civic to get a Ferrari, right? But if all you've got is a skateboard right now, get yourself a Honda Civic. And what does a Honda Civic look like? My own framework is this. Spend a few minutes on introducing yourself, right? Don't get any more complicated than this. Say hi to people. Hey, how you doing? Thanks so much for joining me. I've generated thousands of leads for salespeople, and I'm so glad you're here because we're going to be talking about how AI can do that for you. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about the 3 things we're going to cover to help you achieve your goals. And at the end, I'm going to show you how this is going to work. This is at least an Accord. Thank you, Latoya. Appreciate that. All right. Maybe you've got leather seats. Might upgrade it a little bit. All right. But this is my framework. Spend a few minutes introducing yourself and saying hi. Don't tell your whole life story. Nobody cares. Okay. And certainly don't have a lot of time unless you have one point that's relevant. When I was a kid, this happened to me. This, and that's why I did this. Bang. This is how I'm qualified to talk to you about it. Okay. Pitch and bonus stack. 10 minutes, literally. Build that bonus stack the same way that Fladlian and Brunson teach, okay? And stay on a call for as long as it takes to answer all the Q&As. People who ask questions are interested. People who ask the most amount of questions are your hottest buyers, okay? So between those 3 frameworks, you can build an incredible presentation. And AI is your best friend, because how are you going to put all this together? You're going to use ChatGPT, baby. All right? Anybody who's watching this right now can use technology that is available to all of us to create an incredible framework following the teaching of the masters with just a simple prompt. Okay, so this is the prompt that I dropped in yesterday as I was preparing this presentation. This is literally what I wrote. Take a screenshot if you want. But this is what I wrote. following the perfect webinar script as outlined by Russell Brunson, in other words, make me a master, suggest for me content for a webinar, including timestamps and closing comments to market and sell a program for lead generation using AI software. Now, you might want to fine tune that depending with your workshop and how you're going to teach, but that's what I wrote yesterday to show you the impact of this. All right. And this is what ChatGPT gave me. Literally a step-by-step, minute-by-minute breakdown of exactly how to write and create my webinar. Now, I can take each one of those steps and break it down even further. Explain this in more detail. Give me bullet points on this. Create me images for this point. Give me all of the slides that I need for this step. Give me this as a script, right? And I can build the perfect webinar framework on any topic that I've got from answerthepublic.com that I know my audience are interested in, and I can build my presentation in just a few minutes. You don't need to be scared about being an expert in this field anymore. In fact, you can borrow authority from some of the best on the planet. Mr. Johan.
I was going to say, this is insane. This used to take me 2 weeks at a minimum to build, to sit there, to go through it, have the Expert Secrets book, line by line, and what you just showed us is in a matter of minutes. I don't even know if it was minutes. You had it all there. That is absolutely mind-blowing.
Between this week and last week, guys, you can create these workshops and these presentations so quickly, and you can do it in a framework that's proven. You can build your presentations to be awesome. But again, if all you've got is a skateboard and you're looking to drive, get yourself a Honda Civic and get on the road, right? Get yourself a presentation, teach a topic that your audience are interested in, and invite some people to come and learn. The very best way that you can get 60 million views on a TikTok video is get your first video out there and let it suck. All right? Let it suck, because that is your best way of getting it. Now, you can increase your suck to success speed. Try saying that quickly, right? You can increase your speed by using tools and technology and following the path of the people that have been there before you, getting the master's frameworks and building that out. You can increase the speed that it takes you to go from sucking to success, right? But what you got to do is get it done. Yeah. So I'm just about to wrap. I've only got a couple of more slides here just to cover with you guys. Hopefully this has been helpful. Feel free to drop a little bit of feedback in the chat if you'd like. What is our tech stack? What do we use? How do we build this out? Do I need GoToWebinar? Do I need to upgrade my Zoom account to a paid webinar $500 a month thing? No. We use GHL for our emails, landing pages, customer and opportunity tracking, and follow-up. Okay. We use GHL because we love it. It's got all of the features. We can build funnels. We can do automations. But even that's not needed. WordPress is free. So as long as you've got a tool that can register your customer and can send a follow-up email, you can use MailChimp, which you can do 1,000 emails for free. Like, there's a whole bunch of different tech that you can use, but this is what we use. So we use GHL to do our email follow-up, our landing pages, our customer opportunity tracking, and our follow-up for our sales teams, right? That's what we use. We use Zoom for live calls. Now, I'm about to introduce Webinar Kit, which we use for Evergreen. Why? Webinar Kit do have a live component as well. I love the guys from Webinar Kit. They have made me millions of dollars, but I don't use it for live. You can, but I don't. And the reason I don't is because Zoom has become the Xerox of online webinars. If you want to do a photocopy, you Xerox it, right? If you need to vacuum up your office, you use a Hoover. I'm just going to Hoover the office, right? Zoom has become synonymous with online meetings. So I've run a couple of webinars live using the Webinar Kit system, and it's just not quite easy. And I want people to come on going, I know this framework. I can Zoom. My grandmother uses it, right? So we use Zoom because it's an easy viewing experience. Now, we use Webinar Kit for evergreen and just-in-time webinars because it's freaking awesome. And because it integrates with GHL so cleanly, it tags people when they've watched a webinar, gets the enrollments, triggers automations. Like, it's brilliant. It's so freaking good. And again, before everybody rushes off and buys it, just hold off for a week. We're going to get the guys from Webinar Kit to come and teach us next week about this platform. But we use Webinar Kit for Evergreen because it's wicked and it integrates with all of our systems and it just runs perfectly. We've run promotional emails with JV partners on Webinar Kit, and we literally just clone the event, create a whole new landing page for it. It's just easy. I love it. But that's our tech stack, right? I use PowerPoint, yeah, and ChatGPT. That's it. So, guys, next week we're going to introduce Stefan, who's been a friend of mine for probably 7 or 8 years since we first hung out at an event together. We've done a lot of business together. He's created an incredible platform with Webinar Kit. He started as a little like video hosting kind of gig, and he turned it into one of the fastest growing webinar platforms on the planet. Himself and his business partner Phil are just great guys. They make their money with webinars, and they know their stuff. So next week, Stefan's going to come in and talk to us about Webinar Kit. He's going to show us all the way through this platform, how you can use it in your day-to-day business. It's going to be great to have Stefan on there. So what to do next, guys? Steps. How can you take this workshop and turn it into money? Let's go. Choose who's your target market. Who are you going to approach? Create a workshop for them based on these last 2 weeks, based on what we showed you with Answer the Public. Set a date and send out the invitations. It is amazing how quickly your wheels will start turning when you put a date in the calendar and invite somebody to a workshop. Shit, better get the workshop built, right? No doubt you'll do it the night before, but that's okay. We've all been there in school when the assignment's due tomorrow. We work hardest the day before. That's okay. Just put the date in the calendar. That'll force you to do stuff, okay? So that's step 3. Set a date, invite someone. Concentrate on the system to support your goals. That is an important point, and I kept underlining the word. It's ongoing. Don't go to the gym once and think you're fit. You got to just keep going. Make it part of life. Make it who you are. I'm a guy that does webinars all the time. I'm a guy that runs workshops all the time. I'm a guy that's got 100 workshops, run an evergreen to my ideal audience and supported by JV partners and affiliates. That's why I'm up on stage getting the SaaSpreneur Award. Make that who you are, okay? And then tune in next week to get a supercharge from the guys from Webinar Kit. That's it. All right? So guys, take this and make money. Tap into last week's training as well. Make sure you're showing up for Stefan next week to learn about Webinar Kit and how he's using that program and building some incredible things to support webinars. But make this what you do. Make this who you are. Engage the one-to-many model and watch your business change. It's pretty cool. Mr. Johan.
Man, well, thank you. Thank you for going over and above every week. The stuff that you're teaching, I have paid tens of thousands of dollars to be in masterminds to learn stuff. And here you are giving it as a value add to our community. So just wanted to say thank you so much. Guys, please give Walt a shout out. Say thank you in the chat. He goes over and above every week. This is absolutely incredible. This stuff, Walt, you make it so easy, man. You've distilled it down into, and with the power of AI, like seriously, you blew me away today. I'm like, oh my God, I can just redo all of our presentations with AI. Yeah.
Yep.
Change it into 100%. The perfect webinar system. So cool. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Walt, back to you.
I appreciate you guys. From Johan and myself and Kyle and our whole Comet Suite team, it's the greatest honor and privilege of our lives to be aligned with you guys as you build your businesses. So thank you for the opportunity to do so. If you know people that should have been here that weren't, tell them. They're missing out. Get them involved. Give us a couple of shout outs in the school group or in the Facebook group and let people know. Haji, the replay will be up in the school group, in our Comet U school group very, very shortly. And yeah, guys, keep in touch.
Thank you.